Wealthy Magic has spilled. Mover runs racing.
I'm focused. I've been watching for the omens. I've been listening to everything you said. It's been running through my head, locked and loaded. I got the feeling that you know it. Yeah, I've only just begun. I won't stop until it's done, till you're broken. So welcome to the fire. I'm the one with the light. Feel it burning through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher. So welcome to the fire. Welcome to the fire. Feel it burning through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher. So welcome to the fire. I've been waiting for this moment, the final battle of the chosen. See, I'm never gonna quit, got my legacy set in motion. So welcome to the fire. I'm the one with the light. Feel it burning through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher. So welcome to the fire. Welcome to the fire. Feel it burning through your veins as we're walking through the flames, getting higher. Welcome to the fire. Welcome to the fire.
I'd be lying if I said that my performance the day prior wasn't in the back of my mind on the outlap, but my strategy was still the same. I needed to focus on a good, solid racing line, see what the kind of grip the car would give me, and see how fast I could push it on a normal lap. And that was just it. Stay on the track, be consistent, be smooth, and have a good race that ended with me swapping drivers and not being towed out of the rocks. Into my fifth lap, I was becoming more comfortable with the car and the track conditions. I'd run a fairly solid out lap. My first lap was a 2:16. I sped up to a 210, and then inexplicably I was back up to a 214 without traffic, but I was at least feeling confident and starting to make passes until a pair of Miatas blew right by me, and I could not figure out why I was so slow, and this would actually continue for a while. I started getting passed a lot, which made no sense to me because I felt like I was fast, yet everyone else seemed like they were faster than me. And my goal at this point was to see if I could learn something from them, to see if I could follow them and maybe get faster myself by following their line, but I could not, which made me feel even slower. Following them did help though, because it did put me at a 210 after that miserable 214, so I was at least back on a good pace. I wasn't racing the Miatas, we weren't in the same class, but the competitor in me doesn't like being passed, and at this point I'm starting to wonder if I'm just riding around on the track and not actually doing anything productive because everybody seems to be passing me. On my 10th lap, I finally broke 210 for a 209.426, which was my fastest lap by this point in the race, but I had no idea because we had no comms and no timing equipment inside. It was also the first time to have a caution, so I used it as an opportunity to get water, which as you can see worked out a lot better than the day prior. It seemed like it was a very short caution and we went green almost immediately, so didn't have a whole lot of time to get water until it was time to go back to racing. But even though it was my fastest lap so far, I had no idea and felt like the entire field had passed me. And this was the first time I looked at my watch, but it didn't affect me like last time. I was more confident in the car and having a much better time driving on the dry pavement, but still thought I was pretty slow. On my 14th lap, I finally caught up to traffic only to have this Mini Cooper blow right by all of us, but at least it felt a little bit better that I wasn't getting passed by the entire field. I had finally caught some slower traffic and could have somebody to race against. So this is the turning point in the race for me. This is where I started driving mad because I had seen this blue Mustang in practice. I knew I had at least as fast, if not faster, car. I'd had enough of being passed, and from this point on, I stepped it up and actually clicked off some really consistent, really good lap times until the caution. But following these guys actually made me a lot faster because I was just driving mad at that point. We were running comfortably in the 208, 209 lap time, and even though I was hanging with these guys, we were in traffic, and even faster cars were showing up on our 6. This pass will push me even faster because I didn't expect it. I didn't see him until he was already on my door. Obviously, there's no spotter. You can't see the rearview mirror because of the window tint out the back. And I just was getting more and more frustrated. So he'll actually inspire me to run my fastest lap so far. Of course, I had no idea it was my fastest lap. I just knew that I was getting passed a lot and I didn't like it. So I wanted to drive as hard as I possibly could, which arguably I should have been doing the whole time, but I really didn't know the limits until I got in this crowd of fast cars. The longer I went into this run and the faster I drove, the more I started to realize the tires were getting hot and a little bit slick, so grip was starting to fade, especially in the S's and coming up here on turn 13 and 14. The caution came out here and I checked my watch because I knew we were coming up on the hour and 20-minute mark, which is what we had all said we would do. Earlier, we had a miscommunication and there was a caution that we could have driver swapped and we didn't. So I wasn't sure if they were going to want me to pit or not, especially when this became a full course caution. But you can see my lap times all sub 210 once I started driving angry. And this ends up being a caution, a 35 mile an hour caution, which you can see by the pink. So I was trying to make sure that I wouldn't speed and get another black flag because I'd been running fairly well and had kept it on the track. I figured out just based on pacing everybody and when it flashes, it gives you a little bit of buffer. It'll flash if you get above 35 miles per hour. But I figured out a good RPM and gear to keep me safe and to keep me in line with everybody else without getting it a black flag. With no radio or race control communications, I had no idea why the caution had come out. This was the second caution lap, which was the longest caution I'd had the whole time. I was kind of wondering what it was, especially when I see the ambulance come out. I was worried that a driver might have gotten seriously injured, only to find out it was just lunch. During this caution, I was internally debriefing myself, and I felt slow. I felt like a lot of people had passed me. I felt like I didn't get the lap times that I wanted. So this was a time where I knew my time was coming to an end on the track. We were reaching the point where I was going to have to pit in, and I had not seen them wave the flag for me to come in. So I decided I'm just going to drive as hard as I possibly can until they flag me in and try to get as fast a lap times as possible. Kind of a weird, at least to me, progression of the flags here. We go from the pink 35 to the flashing full course caution to one corner only solid caution to green flag. Again, I am not used to this system. Circle track racing, caution's a caution, it's a full course caution no matter what. It took me a second to realize I could pretty much send it and get back up to speed as the green flag came out. So that was kind of a learning experience for me, just different from what I'm used to. It's not a full lap, it'll be about a 2:14 on this lap, so not sub 2:10, but still a pretty decent lap overall. Here I'll be looking for my crew to wave me in to pit. I don't see it, so I'm going full send for as long as they'll let me stay out. And this starts the second of my 2:06 runs. It's not my fastest run, but it's the second of the fastest runs of the day. And one more time I drive by, don't see anybody waving at me, and full send. This is the fastest lap of the day, the fastest lap in this car, and actually the fastest lap of all our team, which I was pretty proud of. Just worked out. It was just a great lap. The run ends as I start getting into traffic, but it sure feels good to be the one passing and not being the one passed, especially towards the end of the run. So I did feel a lot faster, even though I had no idea what my times were. I felt like I was at least not the slowest one on the track, which is always important. And here I see my crew waving at me. I acknowledge that I'll be pitting in under green on this lap as I'm running down the blue Mustang that had blown by me like I was sitting still and been the source of all my anger. I gotta admit, it did feel good to pass him after all that. Obviously, it was probably a driver change. They had wildly different skill levels. Some were very fast and some not so much. But it's why it angered me anyway, because I felt like that car shouldn't be faster no matter who's driving. And that was it. Pitting in under green to do a driver swap. I'd done fairly well in the last stages. I'd gotten all sub 210s. Even the 209 in traffic, I think, could have been a little bit faster. And my in lap actually looked like it was shaping up to be a really good run too.
I'm slow, but it was fun.
You weren't slow. 206.
Really?
Several of them. You backed it up.
Yeah, I got mad at the end, so I started driving angry.
Well, apparently that works for you.
Yeah.
You ran a string of single digits.
That was here. That was probably the last couple laps.
At least 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, I figured it out. It took me a while to figure it out.
You were doing some stuff that wouldn't work in my car, and it was working for you.
I figured if I got airborne right there, it's the best entrance in there. I'm using all the track now.
Good. Yeah, you were coming out really wide at 16.
It's the only way. Otherwise, you're sliding or you're hogging.
Well, and if you got a car with horsepower, it sets you up for a long run down the
That's what
straight.
I was trying to just get a run off that.
You good? Yep. Looking good, man. We'll go look at the times.
You know what though? The whole time I'm like, I'm the slowest dude because everybody's passing me. Thanks, Doug.
Green is the fastest lap of the car for the day.
Nice.
Yeah. So, like, apparently feeling slow is what works for you.
I don't like it. The tire's done. Oh, the rocks.
Oh, that tire's done.
Now, weren't you used to car weighs half as much and tires are twice as wide? Now that your car weighs twice as much and the tires are half as wide, you're burning them up. Douglas,
Hey, dude.
what are we gonna run?
I'll be happy if I can break 212, honestly.
2.5?
Yeah.
That's what I said. If you need water,
Yeah, we got it working again.
you got my sippy cup. I had to drag it out. That thing's gonna be so disgusting. COVID rules.
You can get water.
Huh?
The one when we rigged ours up, we were like sucking for 2/3 of a lap and not getting anything.
So to speak.
Yeah.
As you can see, Bob Moore didn't make quite the full trip, but the rest of the field is going. Doug's about to go out in Pale Horse. I had a decent run, ran a 206, really happy. I was slow at first and picked up the pace, stayed on track, didn't get black flag. That's all I really cared about. super happy to be out here. I think Daniel went out, and I think the tires are starting to give out, and then the next guy went out and the tires completely gave out, and so he ended up in the grass. So they're changing those, and then there's Douglas.
On the open road, it's so inviting. On the open road, that's where you find me. Straight through the night, no matter where we go.
What are we doing?
Well, we're doing a special stagger. And
Match special.
Yeah,
You gonna send it around the wall?
no, I am not going to send it around the wall. But yeah, special. It's a special match set.
Yeah.
With a nice offset.
If you pass on the outside, it can hold.
It can't hold. So turn 4, I'm going high.
Okay.
Just not wall high.
I'll find it. What Doug end up running? What was his highest? His fastest? 209?
209.
So you're gonna get a.
I don't know. This is kind of a weird combo here. So.
Oh, the excuses have begun.
I don't know. We'll see, because we found this tire was still kind of okay. That tire was done. It's on the ground over there and it's not doing too bad. So we found a used one that looked kind of decent for the rear back here. And we thought we had some front tires, but
Did you get it?
the offsets were wrong. It's rubbing the coilovers. But the 19s are clearing, so we'll have a 1918. It's Carolina lean, maybe a little bit.
Dude, you're gonna have 30 minutes of track time.
That's all I need. That's all I need.
Wide open. What's wrong?
Something's dragging. We didn't touch that one.
I'll come back if I hear it. Now.
Okay, take it easy for the first one. Hear it out.
Send it.
No.
I don't hear anything dragging. These are wide open. Oh, there he goes. I heard that.
Lock? Yeah, might just be cool, man.
You seem happier today with your results.
I'm just happier that it
Experience.
wasn't raining.
Yeah, right. Me too.
I mean, car was great in the dry.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It's a lot more predictable, and being able to see it's a real help.
Yeah, it's a good car.
Yeah, I could use the brakes.
Yeah, I saw you lock them up a couple times.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
You found the edge.
Still learning.
It's one to go. He was vaping?
The magic is coming out of the left rear wheel.
What is smoking?
I think I lost a hub bearing.
How bad are they on these?
They suck on the back.
Yeah.
The fronts are easy.
IRS.
BMW.
Did that car come that way? No.
BMW cracked its frame. Always on there. Wait, what happened?
That'll teach them.
BMW
Well, I knew what happened
hit it.
here. I just didn't know what happened
Cracked the
here.
frame on the BMW.
Whoa.
Wow. Did you get 209?
I don't know.
You were coming for it
You were,
when the wheels literally came off.
Yeah, it was a little funky. I blame Mover. He broke it earlier.
Yeah, he wore out.
Mover ruins racing.
Mover
He wore it out so the
ruins
scooter couldn't
racing.
go fast. And then you guys sent me out.
It's like I didn't do that. I was just driving and it did that. Yeah, the bearing's bad.
Yeah, and the seal.
That's what
The
we were
seal is
feeling.
also bad.
Smoked that hub bearing.
See it?
Oh yeah, that's wheel bearing grease that I've turned into oil.
Yeah. Point me on the front straight.
Mover ruins racing.